So you've got a little bit of extra money and you want to take that and grow that and increase your wealth. Well, welcome to this video because I'm going to show you exactly how to start investing. If you are a absolute beginner, you're in the right place and you are in the right frame of mind to want to invest your money. That's how the rich get richer, right? Instead of just spending all your money or saving all your money and keeping it in the bank where inflation is literally just going to cut through that, it's a good idea to be able to take that wealth and then grow it. So I'm going to show you some strategies in this video today that will help you to get to the next level. But before we do that, let's take a look at the way that you actually save your money and grow your money into different pots. And this is a strategy that I've implemented inside of my life for over a decade now, and it's really helped me to get a great investment pool going so that you can then take that pool and put it in the right vehicles so that you can start to grow that income. All right, so I'm just going to jump onto my whiteboard right here, and this is called the bucket system. Right now, typically there are 6 buckets that you can divide your money into: expenses, entertainment, education, savings, and future, which will be your investment pool. All right, so the idea here is to get as much as possible into the future or investment pool as possible, but of course currently, and for most people, it's going to be pretty small initially, right? But roughly about 60% of your money that you get on a monthly basis from your salary will go to expenses, roughly about there, okay? It might be slightly different for you, but I would say between 50, 60, 70% around there, but let's settle on 60%. Now, of course, we don't want to be boring, and we want to entertain ourselves, go out, watch movies, pay for Netflix, things like that, for example, internet, a little bit of travel here and there, right? So we'll say 10% goes to entertainment, okay? Now, 10% should go to what I call education. That's not your children's education, that's your own education, right? Education that's going to teach you how to improve yourself, how to improve your life, right? So it's things like investing in courses, investing in books, investing in seminars, right? You're watching this video right now, but this is free. This is on YouTube, right? But there are some pieces of information that aren't free and you might have to pay for it. So it's good that you have a little pool for education so that you can grow your knowledge, grow your wealth, and arm yourself better to be more successful in the future. Then we've got savings, of course, which is very, very important. And then we've got the rest, which is basically going to be in the future or investments. Okay, now these percentages can change over time, but essentially what we want to do is we want to definitely try and put as much in savings and future as possible. But just to be realistic, this is usually what most households will look like. Now, if you can slowly move more into the future bucket, then you're going to have more money to invest. Some people have everything in expenses, and that's not a great place to be, but you can slowly work your way through this. And now that you've seen the bucket system, perhaps you can implement this into your life, and you can divide your salary that comes in every single month, and you can try and squeeze a little bit into the different buckets. Even if the entertainment bucket is only $10, right? And your education bucket's only $5 a month, and savings is only $5, and your future investments is also $5, that will add up over a period of time, right? So manage whatever money you have, whether that's 10,000 US dollars a month, or 5,000 or 3,000 or 2,000 or 1,000, it doesn't matter. Manage what you have, and this is how you're going to get very, very organized with your money and slowly grow that wealth, okay? So the more we have inside the future bucket, the more that we can invest. All right, so let's take a look at the next step. Once you have some money to invest, what do you actually do? Now, the next thing that you want is you want to have the right investing mindset. This is really important, okay? Because investing money is all about understanding that there is going to be a little bit of risk with investing, right? And what you never want to do is you never want to invest money that you don't have or money that you can't afford to lose, right? Because the reality is that I'm going to show you some investments in a minute right here. So stick around and make sure you keep watching this video. But each investment has a different risk level, all right? So it really depends on your risk appetite. Are you someone that is willing to take on a little bit more risk? How old are you? That also really depends on how much risk you're willing to take, right? And you have to understand that most investments will take a little bit more time to grow, right? That's how investments work. You put it in there, you let it grow over a period of time. It is highly, highly unlikely that any of that investment will make you any money in the short term. You have to think more about the long term. We're looking at 10 to 30 years, okay? So people that got into the crypto markets and they mortgaged their house or they sold their house and they took all that money and they put it into the crypto market hoping that they were going to become millionaires in 5 months, don't really understand how investing works, right? Even though cryptocurrency, we've seen some, moonshots with crypto, but ultimately it's still an investment vehicle, and it's going to work the same way as most other investments, medium to long term. So if you can fix your mindset on the long term and just understand that the money that you have here that you've set aside for future and investing, you're not really going to touch that money for the long term. Okay, put it away, and if you lose it, you lose it. If you make money in 10 to 30 years, then that's great. All right, and it's very likely that you will make money in 10 to 30 years, and I'm going to show you that in a second. Okay, so we definitely don't want to do anything short term. Anything short term is less than a year. Don't even bother. Okay, now the next thing we want to look at is, well, what kind of investments can we get into? Okay, there's so many different types of vehicles that you can go into. Some are higher risk, some are medium risk, some are lower risk. These are my favorites. Okay, this is what I actually do myself. And it's taken me a long time to figure out this list. I know it looks very, very simple, right? But there are a lot of investment opportunities out there. And I've tried a bunch. I've lost a lot of money. I've put, like $50,000 into an investment, and it was just like gone like that, because I was willing to take a risk. At the time I was a little bit younger, had a bit of extra money. Remember, the higher the risk, the higher the reward generally. And some of these investments didn't really pan out. Okay, but if you look at this list right here, these are pretty rock solid. I'm going to show you exactly where to go and how to actually invest in these. All right. Now the first one may surprise a lot of people. Online business. Okay. Now the reason why I have this as an investment is because it is an investment. Right now, I've built multiple online businesses over a period of time, over the last decade actually. And what I found is that when you understand how to grow an online business properly, it is an investment, okay? Because it gives you cash flow every single month. And the reason why I have it right at the top, by the way, I'm ranking this in order, okay? Pretty much in order, all right? Is that with online business, it's great because if you can increase a skill set, a specific skill set, right? Then you get to keep that skill set, and that skill set becomes a cash generating asset. I hope that makes sense, right? And if you grow the right business where you don't necessarily have to be there all the time, that means it's pretty much automated. It's like 80-90% automated. You just have to put in a tiny bit of work. That to me is a great, pretty much hands-off investment, okay? And the greatest thing that an online business can give you is it becomes a cash producing asset. That means that you invest in the skill set, you learn how to do it, you automate it, and once it's automated, again, maybe you're only working on it like 10% of the time, right? Then it's bringing you cash flow in every single month. Now, I don't know a better investment than that, all right? And when you use the right online business model, you can bring in way more returns than a lot of these other investments can, and we'll cover some of them in a minute, okay? Now, what kind of online business can you build? Look, there's a lot, right? You could build a Amazon FBA business, drop shipping business. You could start a digital agency. You could do affiliate marketing, which is what I do a lot. You could do YouTube automation. That's also something that I do. But some businesses are better than others. Now, what you want to understand is you definitely want to start something online. You don't want to do it offline, because when you do it online, the costs are much, much lower, the risks are much, much lower, but the potential to earn is much, much bigger because you can scale and sell products and services to the world. I hope that makes sense, okay? So what you don't want to do is you don't want to take, $1 million and start like a cafe or a salon or a supermarket. I mean, yes, the potential of growth there is big too, but the risks are very, very high. And the capital injection required is ridiculous. You'll probably have to take a loan from the bank, which is what you don't want to do. Which is why when you start something in terms of business and become an entrepreneur, you want to start something online. Okay, what I would personally recommend is to stick to the most automated, lowest cost but high profit business models, and that for me is affiliate marketing, where you sell other people's products. Okay, and the second one is YouTube automation, where you create really trendy videos and you generate a lot of views, and YouTube pays you a lot of ad revenue for those views. To me, those are the lowest risk, lowest cost, highest return, and most automated and scalable online business models in the world. Okay, and I've been doing this a long time, right? So consider doing that, because anyone can learn how to do that. Okay, and if you'd like to check out my affiliate marketing strategy, you can go ahead and just click the link directly below in the description box. I'll send you the training for free if you want. All right, now the next thing on the list is, once you've got your online business, right? And this is an investment. just like anything else out there, if you do this well, this will pay you for the rest of your life, which is why I have it at the top, right? But then the next thing you want to do is, this is what people traditionally think about investments, is you want to then take the money that you're making from your business, right? Which is how most of the millionaires and billionaires grow their wealth anyway. People don't just invest. I mean, yes, there are people that do that, but it's, less than, very, very small, less than 1% of the world would actually do that. Most people start a business first, and then they take the wealth that they get from the business and they put it in investments and let the money work for them. I hope that makes sense, right? That's the smartest way to grow your wealth, and so that's why I'm sharing that with you inside of this video, right? So the next thing is you want to take a look at stocks and what's called ETFs, exchange traded funds, okay? Now let's first take a look at stocks. Now stocks are great, stocks have been around for a very long time, and you can make a lot of money with stocks, but the problem with buying stocks is that it's impossible to time the market. That means you don't know when, Tesla is going to explode or when it's going to crash, right? We don't have a crystal ball, and so unless you, either pay a lot of money for these monthly stock newsletters, or you are some wizard, which you probably aren't, right? It can be pretty risky to invest in stocks, right? So the thing is that with stocks and funds, you have to understand that it's a buy low, sell high strategy. And just looking at our investment timeline, if you were to buy a lot of the blue chip company stocks today and you didn't do anything, that means even through crashes and whether it's a bull market or a bear market, you just held on to that stock for 10 to 20 years, it is extremely probable that you will make money with that stock. Okay, now if you're buying and selling every single time the market crashes, that's how you lose money, right? Which is why we started with this whole investing mindset in the first place. So if you start now and you buy stocks at a low price, right, and it's pretty low at the time we're recording this video, and you just held on to them for 10, 20, 30 years, you will make money. It's almost guaranteed, okay? Now there's something else called ETFs, exchange traded funds, and I like ETFs, right? If you do your research and your homework, almost all the financial books that focus on stocks, funds, and ETFs talk about ETFs and how you should just buy that. Now, all an ETF is it's a basket of blue chip stocks. That's it. So you're highly diversified in all the different industries. Okay, you've got your eggs in lots of different baskets, and they follow some of the biggest indexes in the world. And the great thing about ETFs, unlike mutual funds, is that they have basically no charges on them, or extremely little. The reason why a lot of people lose money on things like mutual funds is because the cost of buying a mutual fund is very, very high. The management fees are really high, and it eats into your growth, all right? Which is why mutual funds are like, the biggest scam out there. The only person that makes money with the mutual funds are the brokers that sell you those mutual funds, all right? So what you want to do instead is you want to buy stocks, which are individual stocks, but they are pretty high risk, okay? Or just buy an ETF, keep putting money into it every single month, don't think about it, even if the market crashes, and just hold on to it for the next 10 to 30 years, and you will make money. If you actually do your research on ETFs, they always make money over the long term. They all have, right? So obviously it's about picking the right ETF, but in general, because they're a basket of blue chip companies spread across all sorts of different industries, they generally either perform at the rate of the top indexes or they outperform them. Okay, it's pretty cool. Now, there are a couple of places where you can start buying stocks. It's pretty simple, okay? So these are the best. So you can just go to fidelity.com, create a brokerage account. And again, these guys are great because they don't charge you fees, or the fees are extremely low. Again, this is where you're going to save a lot of your money as a brand new investor, okay? Or you want to check out TD Ameritrade. All right, and if you actually have a look at these guys, again, because of their zero commission free online listed stock trades and their zero commission free or commission free ETF trades, these are some of the best platforms to get started with stocks and ETFs. Okay, hope that makes sense. Very, very, very simple. Okay, so that's stocks. All right, the next one is gold and silver. Okay, now this is a great asset for beginners to start investing in, because gold and silver always increases in price over the long term. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little chart right here. This is a gold price 100-year historical chart. Okay, now this is not 100 years right here, but it's pretty long. And you can see that there is a general upward trend. Yes, it went down in the 2000, early 2000s, but in general it goes up. Okay, and if you know anything about gold, gold has always been the traditional store of value. When people overprint money, when governments go under because overprinting of their specific currency and it's worth nothing, it's like you may as well just use it to wipe your bum when you go to the bathroom, right? Everybody looks at gold, right? Because of the gold standard, essentially, right? So to hold some gold is not a bad thing to do, which is why it is on my list right here as one of the good investments for not just beginners but for anybody. Okay, now where do you buy gold? Okay, well, there are websites where you can literally go and buy gold, and let me just show you right here. There's one called JM Bullion, and you can literally come here and buy 20 grams of gold if you want, 5 grams, right? So 5 grams of gold right here costs $372 at the time of recording this. You can buy slightly more if you want. 10 grams costs $675. You can buy 20 grams, which costs $1,321, right? And they'll just mail it directly to you, and you would keep this, okay? And you would keep it over the long term. Again, investing is a long-term strategy, 10, 20, 30 years. In 30 years' time, do you think that the price of gold will go up? Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the historical prices, it will absolutely go up. So if you bought it right now at $1,939, in 20 or 30 years, it is very, very likely that this will at least double. I mean, it has in the last 10 years, if you take a look at this chart, right? So the chances that you'll make money, or if it's a good investment there, is pretty high, okay? So use websites like JM Bullion, and there are lots, by the way. You don't have to buy just from JM Bullion. You can just Google what are the top gold and silver brokers in your country, and you can find one, and they will buy it. Some of them will even store it for you. Okay, so that's gold and silver, right? So you've got financial vehicles here. You've got financial assets here. What about crypto? Crypto is a great one to buy. I mean, a lot of people get scared of crypto, because they're like, oh, they think it's a bubble. But the reality is when you actually do the research and understand that crypto has a lot to do with the technology behind all the coins, it's kind of like the dot-com boom. You're basically buying little companies, right? Obviously not all of them are going to do well. This is where you have to do your research. But is there value in buying crypto? Yes, absolutely. You just have to understand that it is a risky investment. That's all it is, right? But if you were to buy from some of these top exchanges right here, like Binance, I bought a lot of coins from Binance. I've got my money in KuCoin. I've got my money in Bitfinex. Okay, it's good to diversify. Think of them as banks, right? This is like Bank of America. This is Citibank. This is HSBC. You get the idea. It's exactly the same thing. All you're doing is you're going to an exchange and you create a free account, right? And you decide what coins you want to buy. You buy them and you hold them, and you don't really do anything with them. You just hold them until the price goes up. Again, if you buy it now and the markets crash tomorrow, it doesn't matter because you've got the right mindset. You understand that even with crypto, you're not meant to sell it in 3 months from now, right? Yes, sure, you can do day trading, but that's a completely different strategy altogether. We're looking at investing for the long term. If you buy crypto today, it is highly, highly likely that in 10 years, it'll be worth more than what you paid for it today. And then you can sell it and you can make a nice little profit right there, right? And you could sell it again in the exchange that you bought it, Binance, right? Now, if you want to go a little bit more advanced with the crypto strategy, you can. I think this is a great thing to do. This is what I do every single day. I've got a bunch of coins from Binance, KuCoin, and Bitfinex, like I mentioned earlier. What I do is I use a piece of software called Bitscap, right? There are a couple of them out there, but this is the one that I like to use. And you basically stake your coins in Bitscap, and you use them as collateral to make money on whether the coin goes up or goes down. It's kind of like options. It's very, very cool. Okay, so if I buy a pair of coins like whatever it is, Bitcoin and Ethereum, because they always come in pairs, and I also put them together, and we put them as collateral. Whether the coin value goes up or goes down, I still make money on what's called the wiggle, which is really, really cool. Okay, so you might want to check that out if you don't mind taking on a bit more risk. And since you're going to be holding the coins anyway for a long period of time, 10, 20, 30 years, this is a great strategy to make even more money on the coins that are just sitting there. So you're making double growth. It's pretty cool. I paid a lot of money to learn how to use this particular strategy, but there you go. You can actually just use Bitscap, jump onto YouTube, find some videos that teach you how to use it, and you can be on your way. Okay, pretty cool stuff. So that's crypto, right? Next one's real estate. Now, I personally am not a huge fan of real estate. I have it on this list because this is a traditional investment, and in the right markets, like if you're in certain places in the US, or if you're in certain places in the UK, for example, or certain places in Europe and even Asia, if you're in the right market, they can be great investments. The only thing about real estate is that it's high capital. That means you need a lot of capital to be able to invest in real estate, and most people don't, right? With everything that I just mentioned earlier, stocks, gold, crypto, you don't need that much money to start investing. Even starting an online business, you can literally get started for hundreds of dollars. But with real estate, you need hundreds of thousands of dollars before you can buy real estate. And that's kind of the problem. Now, I own a property, but it's not one of my favorite investments, to be honest, because there's so many invisible costs that you don't know about. You have to make sure that you have a tenant in the property itself, and it depends on the market, right? If you're in a bad market, then the property is not really going to grow that much, and so your capital appreciation is not really going to be there, right? But traditionally, if you're in the right markets, there are certain markets where real estate can be really good and will grow at 10 to 15% a year, especially if you have the money and you've got the budget to actually buy real estate. Okay, so you can check it out. But I've got it on the list there because for the right markets and for the right people, it can be a good investment. All right. The last one, I call it alternatives. All right, and this is really interesting. Now, there are websites out there where you can actually do something called crowdsource investing. That means that you can get access to companies that are in startup mode and are in need of investment capital, right? And you don't necessarily have to be in the right circles to get invited to pitch or invest as an angel investor, which is really, really cool. Okay, now one of those websites, and there are quite a few out there, right? It's called Start Engine. You may recognize this gentleman right here, right? He's Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, okay? And this is based mainly for the US, but you can literally come onto Start Engine, create an account, and you can get access to some very, very cool startup opportunities. And if you want to invest in these companies, and if they grow big, you'd basically make money as a shareholder. So you're basically buying common stock in these companies. This is such a cool way, once you get to a certain level, all right, to be able to get access to hundreds of different opportunities where other people are going to do the work. Now, obviously, there is an element of risk because, you're becoming an angel investor, essentially, right? You're basically becoming an investor into these companies, but traditionally you would never even have access to these opportunities at all. So the fact that there are multiple websites that are doing this right now is very, very cool, and that's a cool way to grow your portfolio even further once you get to that level. Okay, so I wouldn't necessarily do that yet because I think it's very high risk and you need a fair amount of money to invest in these companies. So I would first start here. Then I would get into ETFs, then I'd buy some gold and silver, then I'd get into crypto. Then later on, once you've grown your wealth, you can get into real estate, and then you can do some alternative investments like crowdfunding investing if you really want. And that's pretty much my list right there, okay? It's not that difficult to actually get started investing. What's more important is understanding the mindset behind how to invest, right? How to put your finances into different buckets so that you can continue to increase your future bucket, your investment bucket, and then use that money to then invest in the right investments to grow it long term. Now that you know that there are things like stocks and ETFs, there's gold and silver, there's crypto, right? It's not that difficult to find out where to actually take your money and then put it into these places because you can Google it very easily. But on this video, I've shown you some of the top places where you can actually do that. So literally anybody can do it, right? So I would get started today. Understanding how to manage your money is one of the most important skill sets that you will ever learn and need to have in your lifetime, honestly. So I hope you enjoyed this video today. Let me know which one was your favorite. Let me know if you got some value from this video today. Would appreciate some comments and some thumbs ups on the video. And if you would like to learn how to do the first thing, how to start a business, because I think that's where everyone needs to start, right? I'd love to show you exactly how I grew mine. I'm going to show you how to do it step by step. It's my favorite way to do it. All you need to do is just click the link directly below in the description box. Enter your email address and I'll send it directly to your email. Have fun with that training and I hope to see you on another video. Take care.